What's happening, everybody? MG here. MG Covers bringing you a brand new sports handicapping video. Title of this video, Confession, I've made sports handicapping too complicated. I'm so excited to bring you this video. I almost made it the next podcast, but decided to make it a video because there's just a ton of value in this video. We'll get to that in a second. As always, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, greatly appreciate you subscribing to the channel. If you want the unadulterated truth about sports betting, you've come to the right place. A ton of video, ton of content on my channel. So if you'll learn about sports betting, it's a great channel to subscribe to and watch a lot of playlists related to handicapping, whether it's NFL, hockey's coming up here. It's already started. We'll start wagering that soon. A lot of value simply by subscribing to the channel. If you follow me on social media, give out a ton of content there as well. MGCovers, covers spelled with a Z. That's for Twitter and Instagram. If you want to follow me there, just click the link in the description of this video and you'll be able to do that. So let's dive into this video. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about, I'm going to show you the results here real quick of this past weekend for soccer, NFL, and NCAA football. But let me give a brief introduction into this. A mistake I've made in my own handicapping and even with the business, I think I've made this business very complicated. For example, there's 150 coaching videos on the website. That's a lot, right? I think a lot of times when a client joins, I tell them that, hey, we have 150 coaching videos, but in their minds, it's almost too much information because I think they feel like, wow, in order to get good at this business, I have to watch all 150 of those videos, and it almost seems overwhelming. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to show you the results and what I've done, and the focus and the shift that I'm taking in my business is I want to make things very, very simple because I think I've, in a lot of ways, overcomplicated the business. And what happens when you do that, it makes it very difficult to handicap because you have too many things that you're focusing on. So I've made this very simple. So let's take a look at the results. So the first thing we're going to look at, we're going to take a look at college football from this weekend. Now, if you see all these, I wrote it out. I love, this is part of my routine. We talked about this in the last podcast. If you haven't listened to the podcast, greatly appreciate you. It's available on all the Apple, Spotify, Google. There's a link in the description to watch that. It's kind of me talking about sports handicapping. And one of the episodes I talked about routine, having a very good routine. This is part of my routine where I write down on this sheet all the plays that have value. Now, if you see the ones that are circled, these are the plays that I actually played. And there were 10 of them. We went 5-5. We were profitable because we played 3 teams. Actually, we played 4 money line dogs. We had Navy, they lost, but we did cash with UTEP plus 140, South Carolina plus 140, and Liberty was the big one. We cashed at plus 205. So profitable there. And then this was from Sunday soccer totals under. We ended up going 3-2 positive there. And I should have listed it here, but we played soccer. We had 3 plays on soccer for Saturday, and we went 2-1. And then, of course, yesterday for NFL, we had 4 total plays, and we went 2-2, same as NCAA, but we were profitable. We had the Giants at plus 140. We played Indy, money line, lost. Atlanta lost that one. Did play Pittsburgh. Didn't play Pittsburgh on the money line. Played it on the spread because I was able to get plus 7.5. Now, so that was the results. The amount of time that I spent handicapping these games probably totaled up maybe an hour, hour and a half for all of college football, all of NFL, and all of soccer totals. Again, mistake that I've made in my own business is I've overcomplicated the process. And what I mean by that is you have your model to identify value. And then a lot of times where people get bogged down, me specifically, we get bogged down in the subjective side of handicapping. Okay, look at this line. This line was -6. Now it moved down to, it moved up to 6.5. And right before kickoff, it moved back to 6. What does that mean? And that information a lot of times complicates the process to the point to where we can't pull the trigger on that game. Or we look at form. Hey, they've won 3 out of their last 5, but 2 of those wins were against really bad teams. Are they in good form or are they not in good form? So my point is, a lot of times when we have all these subjective things that we're trying to handicap, we overcomplicate the process, myself included. And how many times have you handicapped a game where that situation occurs and then you like, I don't know if I should play it. You pass on it, they end up winning. Or a lot of times in the same day, you might pass on 2 or 3 plays that end up winning. And so what I've done is I've, quote, dumbed this down to where we're focusing on the most important aspects of handicapping. And what this does is it allows us to pull the trigger and have success. So if you look at this video on the website, this is how to handicap under totals in soccer, coaching client only post. I just want to pull that up. It's 22 minutes long. That's it. It's 22 minutes. If you watch that video, which is 22 minutes long, you'll be able to handicap soccer total unders the same way I'm handicapping them. Very, very simple. In fact, we're only concentrating on 2 aspects of handicapping, I guess. And a lot of it comes from the model. Made it very simple. If you scroll down, this is on the website. And I even titled it, this video here, okay, 13 minutes long. Super simple approach to handicapping NFL and college football, coaching client only post. Again, I've just made it very simple, and this will shock some of you. The way we handicapped NCAA football and NFL this weekend, we didn't factor any line movement. I'm going to say that again. The way we handicapped NCAA football and NFL, we did not factor line movement at all. Okay. Now that seems like a bizarre concept, right? If you're watching this video, hey, MG, you said you're supposed to, watch line movement, react to the late line movement, sharp line movement. Generally it is subtle and occurs late. That is true, but I've made this process simpler so that we don't have to factor that in. And the reason I say it's not that bizarre, because if you think about sharps that play, say, play NFL early, meaning they have their model ready before the lines come out. When the lines come out, they react. So basically, they're only using one aspect of handicapping. They're using their model and putting the majority of weight in their handicapping on their model. They're not factoring in line movement other than they're using what the current line is. So I've made a complete shift, or I'm attempting to make a complete shift in all my models. I'll show you this model here with NHL. Let's see if I can slide this over. This is a back test that I've run for NHL. And again, it's a very simple, it's what I call them plug and play models, meaning there's no handicapping. You're just, if the model says play it, it's a play. This model, I've tested it from last season all the way through February 9th. I used last year's, but it's a very simple model, 88 and 80 up 18.4 units. So I'm super excited about NHL. I'm going to do the same thing for NCAA basketball. And so if you want access to basically how to simplify your handicapping, you can become a client. It's $49.95 per month. Again, we do have access to over 150 videos. But again, you can just focus on those 2 videos, learn how to handicap, very simple approach to handicapping soccer, NFL, and NCAA football. And if you want access to all my plays, $99 per month. And if you join for an entire year, $499, you save about $600. That's the best value. It's like getting an associate's degree. You pay $499, you get access to everything on the site for $500. And again, just to sort of recap on this video, I want to end with this point. Even if you're not a client, I think it's probably advantageous to simplify your handicapping so that you can get to a point, because what happens, again, a big weakness of mine is I put too much information up here in my brain, and what ends up happening with all that information, it ends up paralyzing you mentally to the point where you can't pull the trigger. That's another big advantage of this. If models are my strength, well, then we're going to focus more on the models, less on the subjective side. That allows us to be able to pull the trigger more easily. And like you said, like you just saw those results, and still be profitable. So anyway, I hope this video helped. and like this video, subscribe to the channel. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.